Once upon a time, in a quiet little town at the edge of a silver forest, lived a girl named Ella. But no one called her Ella anymore, because her stepmother had given her another name, Cinderella. She called her that because of the ashes and cinders that clung to her dresses after long nights by the fireplace. Cinderella didn't mind the name much, but she did mind the way she was treated. While her stepmother and two stepsisters wore silks and jewels, she wore patched dresses and did all the chores. Still, she stayed kind. Every morning she greeted the birds at the window, she whispered to the mice in the pantry, and she sang softly as she swept the floors. One bright morning, a royal messenger rode into town. His trumpet rang clear as a bell. "Hear ye, hear ye! The king is holding a grand ball, and all young ladies of the land are invited." The whole house buzzed with excitement. The stepsisters spun in circles, imagining the prince asking them to dance. Cinderella's heart fluttered. She had never been to a ball, never seen the castle's golden halls, never heard a royal orchestra play. But her stepmother only laughed. "You go to the ball? With what gown?" She shook her head. "No, you will stay here and clean." That night, as the family left for the ball, Cinderella sat alone by the fireplace. Her eyes stung, but she tried not to cry. Then there was a soft pop in the air. A warm shimmer filled the room, and standing there was a woman in robes sprinkled with stardust. "My dear, why are you so sad?" Cinderella blinked. She wanted to go to the ball just for one night, to see the lights and the music, and her voice trailed off. The woman's eyes sparkled. "Then go you shall." She waved her hand, and a pumpkin from the garden rolled in, growing, twisting, reshaping itself into a shining carriage. 6 little mice squeaked in surprise, and in another swirl of magic, they became dappled white horses. Finally, she touched Cinderella's worn dress. The fabric shimmered and flowed, turning into a gown of silver and pale blue. Glass slippers sparkled on her feet. "But remember," the woman warned, "at the last stroke of midnight, the magic will end." Cinderella promised, and off she rode into the night. The castle was more beautiful than she dreamed. Chandeliers glowed like frozen stars. Music swirled through the air, and when the prince saw her, he forgot the rest of the world. They danced and danced until the great clock began to chime. Cinderella gasped. She ran down the marble steps, one glass slipper slipping from her foot. She didn't dare stop. She leapt into the carriage, and before the prince could reach her, the horses were mice again, and the carriage was a pumpkin. But in the prince's hand was her slipper. The very next day, he searched the kingdom, trying the slipper on every young woman. And when at last he reached Cinderella's house, the stepsisters tried and failed to squeeze their feet in. And then Cinderella stepped forward. The slipper slid on as if it had been made for her. The prince smiled, and in that moment, Cinderella knew her life was about to change. They were married soon after, and Cinderella's kindness filled the castle with warmth. And sometimes, when she looked at her slippers in the moonlight, she could still hear the soft pop of magic and smell the faint scent of stardust. The end.